always wanted to be a business owner. Had no idea what it took in the beginning. Had no idea. I just was kind of allured by the freedom and flexibility and potential financial freedom that you can get from operating businesses, and stepped into it and learned a lot and failed a lot, I would say, in my business journey. And I'm just always trying to grow in everything that I do and learn.
The Buzz on Better Business podcast, positioning your business as one that is trustworthy, is something that we all know is important. But what does it actually take to accomplish this? Join your BBB each month as we unveil the world of local accredited businesses who have it mastered and have positioned themselves as ethical leaders in our Acadiana marketplace. Thank you for joining us for another episode of the Buzz on Better Business podcast, joined by Beau Killingsworth of Colorwheel. We're going to find out a little bit about Beau, where he's from. He went to school and, went to law school, which is something you might not know about. He's going to tell us a little bit about that. Played college football. We're going to talk a little bit about insurance. We don't get too deep into it, trust me. But we want to find out everything Colorwheel's doing and how his success and what he's going through in life has led him to where he's at today. Thank you for joining us for another episode of the Buzz on Better Business podcast. You'll see a little bit upgraded set here, a little bit comfier chair than the wooden one we were in before. Thanks to Acadiana Cast, upgraded the set for us. We walked in and we're really excited about the setup. So we got some great content for you guys today. Thank you for joining us. Beau Killingsworth with us with Colorwheel. And we're going to find out about Beau and what Colorwheel really is. So, Beau, thank you for joining us.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Chris. I appreciate it, man.
Now, let me start out by saying I think you've got, you're kind of a podcast pro. So this will be nice and easy.
No, man, I'm far from a pro. I don't know how long it takes to become a pro, but I'm not one of them yet. I'm just kind of figuring it out.
Yeah, I hear you. They say, remain a student, right? No matter what it is, always learn, always try to improve. So, but yeah, I know you have some. Tell us a little bit about you have a podcast and stuff.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. Last year, I started a podcast with a buddy of mine. He's since kind of moved on, so I'm kind of the only host with it. But yeah, I kind of needed to commit to digitizing my business and everything that I was doing, and start creating a personal brand for myself and for my companies. And it just seemed like a really good way to create a lot of video content and show people kind of what I'm about or who I am. And I desired to talk to people who were more advanced than me and maybe better at business or better at different things that I needed skills on. And it was a great way to connect with those people. It's really one of those only experiences you can do where you're doing so many things at once.
Right.
With 1 hour, you're talking to someone new, just like us. We don't have a tight relationship. We just met recently or got connected recently, but we'll develop a relationship. We'll talk about different things, and we'll always remember it. It's the bond that you get through the podcast is something that I didn't know beforehand. So it's a really, really net positive to my situation for sure.
Yeah, and I've noticed that as well.
Yeah.
It's a pretty intimate situation, actually, to sit with somebody and just ask questions. And when you first came in, you're like, so what's on the agenda? What are we covering? And I said, well, so the theory behind the Buzz on Better Business podcast with BBB was just to have transparent conversations with business owners, not necessarily about BBB, but just what it takes to be a trustworthy business. Obviously you being accredited means you're doing the right things out in the community. So what does it take to do that and really be in a raw sense of conversation, discussing that? And when we started this, our 8th or 9th episode now, when we started this, that was kind of the mission behind it. People want organic, raw, transparent conversations, not the fluffed up, graphic and fake picture and social media presence necessarily that they always say you see people on social media and, don't think their life is exactly like they put on their Instagram. It's got some trials and tribulations like all of us. So, that's why this was created, just to talk to business owners here in Acadiana that are doing great things in the community. As we get into that, obviously we're going to talk about, your business.
Sure. Yeah.
But before we even get into that, I guess, who is Beau? Where's Beau from? And tell us a little bit about yourself.
I'm from Lake Charles, Louisiana. I was born in Baton Rouge, so I've lived in Louisiana all my life, and I grew up in Lake Charles, and I played football at McNeese for a couple of years, the university in Lake Charles, and then I transferred to LSU to finish my undergraduate studies in finance, and then I went to law school at LSU.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, so I'm an attorney as well. I don't practice as much as my colleagues that I went to school with ordinarily. I'm more of a business guy, but that's kind of my background. I always wanted to be a business owner. Had no idea what it took in the beginning. Had no idea. I just was kind of allured by the freedom and flexibility and potential financial freedom that you can get from operating businesses, and stepped into it and learned a lot and failed a lot, I would say, in my business journey, and I'm just always trying to grow in everything that I do and learn. That's kind of me,
Yeah.
I try a lot of different things. I've
That's
tried
good.
a lot
That's
of
good.
different things, and I try to be as risk averse as I can. A lot of my people that I would talk to or you would ask about me would say I'm slightly conservative for a regular entrepreneur, a little bit. But over time, I've developed the ability to take bigger risks and swallow that and control that scenario for myself mentally, I guess.
Yeah.
But that's pretty much it. I mean, I got into construction after that flood in 2016. I was a financial advisor at the time. I didn't particularly like what I was doing, and I didn't feel like I was really helping that many people, and just kind of leaped out on faith and didn't really know anything about the business, but started a business in that environment, and that's where the failure started.
That's a good way to put it.
That's where the business failures started, I would say.
Oh, so is that in 2016 with the floods?
Yeah. There was just a lot of work, and I had a buddy of mine that I went to college with, and he was